You know those point-and-click puzzle games? The ones where all the art looks like those paintings at your grandma's house? I really like those, and I'm not saying this ironically. Yes, I am in fact insane. There's something kind of pleasant about them, a certain campiness that makes them really fun. The voice acting is usually horrible, and the story is usually something like, oh, this prince is now a nasty wolf creature with a foot fetish. Find the umbrella in this artistic car accident to save him. Yet somehow it all adds up to be like a nice experience. I guess my appreciation may come from the fact that they don't require a lot of thought. They're relaxing. There's like literally no complexity, gameplay wise. Look, sometimes I just need a break from Tarkov. It's one of my favorite games, but look, I'm not a masochist. You gotta play other things to, you know, keep your sanity. But I also love horror games, so naturally, why not combine the point-and-click puzzle games with the horror genre? Think about it. This can be a great combo for a simple yet atmospheric horror game. But unfortunately, it's too commonly used for cheap jump scares. These flash games, particularly The House, used to be everywhere back in like 2012. Like everywhere. On Newgrounds, YouTube, in your kitchen, in your walls, inside your prostate. Check it right now, I bet there's one in there. But what if I tell you that it doesn't have to be like this? There are developers out there that believe in the vision of point-and-click horror games that don't just rely on jump scares. Well, there's gonna be some jump scares, but they're not the typical, like, boo. Here's a scary graph about inflation. At Dead of Night, not to be confused with the 1945 horror film Dead of Night, because I'm sure that's what you were thinking of, is an FMV horror game made by Baggy Cat Entertainment, which is based in the UK. They also made this game Contradiction, but it's not as good. This one's better. We start the game with a little cutscene of people screaming for a man named Jimmy.
Leave me alone! Stop! Just leave me alone!
We are then introduced to our main character, Maya, and you'll notice that she talks a little weird. She can't seem to say the letter R.
Hannah, where are you?
Our friend Hannah tells us that her and our other less important friends have checked into some hotel with no cell phone signal. This is exactly the type of campiness that I was looking for when I was searching for point-and-click horror games. Old-timey hotel, in the middle of nowhere, with no cell phone signal, is something straight out of a 90s horror show or movie, and I love it. I really liked how they put real actors in 3D rendered environments like this, like how I used to do, but then stopped because I tried ironing my Alibaba green screen. Alibaba has everything you want, if what you want is to create a trash island in the middle of the Atlantic. Which I do, so I'm gonna buy another one. Maya goes and checks in.
Ah, Maya! Room 101. It's all been paid for, so you don't have to worry about anything. You are very nice friends. Very nice. And there's quite a few of you I see as well. Nice to see so many fresh, young faces.
Here's a tip for all the guys watching on how to not creep out women. I don't know what the red pill guys have been telling you.
Shut up, bitch!
Dude, forget all that. Here's Freddy's #1 tip. Never say fresh young faces. In all seriousness though, the acting is actually pretty good. Just the way the guy talks, the way he laughs, it's just awkward and unsettling.
You're here for the music festival in town, I presume?
Yeah, we were supposed to be camping there tonight, but...
There's hardly weather for that, is there?
Jimmy mentions that there's some entertainment tonight.
It's me doing it, actually. Comedy. I do this comedy character called Hugo Punch. He's sort of this comedic sociopath. Says things that you're not supposed to say. That sort of thing. It's quite popular with students.
I don't think so.
Maya refuses and Jimmy doesn't seem to take it well.
Best show in town and no takers.
We then see Jimmy talking to himself and hear the voice of Hugo Punch.
Hugo doesn't like rude children. They're naughty.
Don't start this again.
It seems like Hugo Punch is not just a character that he plays, but more of a manic personality inside of Jimmy.
You know what you need to do, Jimmy. Show them who's boss. That's the way to do it.
Later on, Maya hears a scream in the middle of the night and decides to go see what's up.
That's it. Go to sleep.
She goes downstairs to call 999, but can't. 999 is the emergency line in the UK, because this game is British. And yes, I tried to find a dubbed version in real English, but I couldn't. Maya picks up a master key and some voices start coming from this device. And finally, the game starts. Right off the bat, I think the graphics are really good, and they did such an amazing job of capturing that old haunted hotel feel. I also really like that there's actual movement. It's still just by clicking the mouse, but getting rid of that simple transition and adding those extra seconds of going from point A to point B seems like the natural evolution to the genre. And they really took advantage of this feature, as we'll see later on. So let's talk about the gameplay loop of the game. The whole point of the game is to find ghosts of people that died because of Jimmy. And essentially find out exactly what happened to them by finding little objects and then literally talking to the ghosts.
I found a bottle of turpentine and a lighter. What were they for?
I didn't know what they were until Jimmy showed me.
And making connections between what they say and objects that you find.
What you said about Jimmy stealing your toy, does that have something to do with what you said about the turpentine and lighter?
He said my toy was not stuck in the bottle. I hated him.
This was a really cool spin on the whole horror mystery genre, because it's not about finding who killed these people, it's about finding out how they died. Now, the hotel is very big and can get very confusing, so to help you out a little, they give you this scrying mirror. When you're in a dark place, you can look through it and get a little push in the right direction. My only complaint about this whole thing is that the inventory screen can get really full, and it becomes impossible to manage all of these keys, objects, and talking points to use with the ghosts. I think they could have easily fixed this if they just made the items that you don't need anymore disappear, like most point-and-click games do. Let's move on to the best part of the game, Jimmy or Hugo. The way they made this work was really cool. Jimmy doesn't work like a typical enemy chase. He kind of just hides around. He'll even run away from you sometimes, and it makes him really unpredictable. But there are times where you have to run away from him. Like, you're just walking and... so now you gotta hide. Inside all the rooms, you can hide in the closet or the bathroom. And this works basically like any other horror game. But something else you can do is find these deadlock keys to certain rooms. These make it impossible for Jimmy to use his master key on that room, but make sure to actually remember to use the key. Yeah, the way they made this really works, and it's just a really cool and refreshing way to do a chase system. It really succeeded at always forcing me to stay alert, listening out for his voice or for any appearance, because if you don't... When you get caught by Jimmy, he for some reason puts you in this unlocked room and takes away your ghost communicator, which doesn't really make sense, since you can see that he tied up and covered all of your friends. Why wouldn't he do the exact same thing to you? I guess they just didn't want to have a you lose screen and then just put you in your last save, which I can respect, but I don't think this was the right solution. I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, but you know, I gotta be a little picky. Now you're probably thinking, well, these are essentially just jump scares. And yeah, sure, but I feel like here, the game actually earned the jump scare, because it worked to build the atmosphere. Also, the jump scares are avoidable. You'll only get that jump scare if you fail, but if you succeed, there will be a rise of tension and then nothing, because you've successfully got away. It did a really good job at straying from the typical point-and-click horror, where it's just nothing and then a jump scare for no reason. All of this, combined with the presentation and overall campiness of the story, made me really love this game. I'm sorry, but I don't want to spoil everything in this. This is like the perfect game to play with a friend, family member, or significant other, or significant family member. This gets a direct recommendation from me. If you like this kind of stuff, get this game, especially now because they're working on a sequel apparently. But this game does cost 14 euros. Now, I'm not saying that it's not worth 14 euros, but maybe you, being the greedy little man that you are, want something that's free. Well, in that case, I've got a perfect game for you. So, I found this game on itch.io. If you don't know what itch.io is, then you're really missing out. It's like the best place to find free indie horror games out there. I've found some really great stuff on there, like Growing My Grandpa, which I actually did a video on not too long ago. Go check it out, it's really good. I talk about my dog eating cheese and getting diarrhea. Invitationem is a free point-and-click horror game made by Julian Bartholini. You can actually play it in your browser, so it's perfect for playing it on like the school computer. Or you know, you could just play like Bubble Trouble or something. It's pretty fun. This game is really short and really simple. Your car ran out of gas and now you have to go into the spooky house in the middle of the woods. There, basic premise, in a scary location. Although this game doesn't have the movement like in At Dead of Night, the backgrounds are still very nice, and I appreciate the detail of having a little bit of movement in the camera. The way it'll like defocus and move around a little bit. It's pretty small, but I think it helps make the whole thing a little bit more immersive. As you go into the house, you hear some people talking, almost as if there's a party going on, which would explain the other car at the entrance. When you turn to the right hall, you find that it's just a little Walkman thing, playing the sound of people. I've never seen this done before, maybe it has, but I thought this was really cool. I thought it was a really creative way of making you distrust the environment, like instantly. Like, why would someone do this? It's like they're playing with you. Moving on, you go upstairs. I thought this was pretty neat, because you can't open this door, so now every time you pass by this place, you'll feel a little uneasy, because you know there's something in there. Anyway, you go into this bedroom and see this lockbox. This is the first puzzle. In those stained glass windows, there were these designs. You just have to remember that and input the correct designs into the lockbox. I don't hate the puzzles in this game, but they're all extremely simple. I feel like they could have put a little bit more effort. So you pick up this key and go into the basement. In the basement, you smash this glass to get these pliers inside.
A dubious little creature.
Okay, well, I guess we're not getting that yet. Also in the basement, there's a safe that you open by using the simple process of elimination. Like I said, the puzzles are extremely simple. Inside, you find an invitation by the host society, but that'll come into play later. And this is why I love that little spook at the beginning, because it made you uneasy for a while, but then you forget about it, and then it gets you. The guy isn't there though, and you pick up this chemical and use it on the dubious little creature.
Ugh.
You pick up the pliers and leave, but the door is locked. This guy swears a lot. Anyway, you get this key using the pliers and go to the bedroom again. But the bedroom isn't there anymore. I thought this was like the coolest part of the game. The nonsensical layout of these corridors, how claustrophobic everything is, the giant anus on the wall. It's all great. You solve this simple color puzzle to open this door, and inside there's a TV showing the corridor you were just in. Stop swearing, I want to monetize this video so I can get like 5 cents. When you go back though, you're back to the original room. You can finally use the key on this chest. Inside there's a keypad, where you use the code from the cult invitation. When you insert the code, the closet moves to reveal a secret doorway. Stop swearing! Inside, there's an elevator that goes to these underground tunnels. At the end, you see some kind of altar, and a gate closes behind you. Some men in red pajamas show up and show their head collection, with one missing head. And that's it. I know I kinda joked around with this game, but I really enjoyed it, and I recommend you support its creator. He made a very fun, scary, and completely free horror game, and he deserves some love for that. I really love these games, and if you know any more point-and-click horror games like these, please tell me about them in the comments. There's something weirdly comfortable about the point-and-click genre, and it seems like that genre is slowly disappearing. So let's enjoy these games while we still have them. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.